I don't know if you guys can hear this. There's something walking around. Listen, you can hear them.
The gentleman's carrying a camera and a torch, and he's recording something surrounding him. He believes there's a few of them. He believes there's a few creatures, and he's captured everything in the video camera, but the audio quality of the video camera is not quite clear enough for me to be able to hear, and I'm sure others, I just haven't talked to others about it, but it's not clear enough to hear the sounds very well. The frequencies and the volume isn't just not there. So I thought, well, I've got software that can boost all of those frequencies up, so I thought I'll give it a go, and I stuck the video in, extracted the audio out of it using software, and then started working on the audio and edited it.
So you've actually stripped the witnesses talking and walking except for a small bit at the start, and then you've dampened, him after that so that people can hear the external sounds.
Yeah, I can delete the sounds, but I thought I'll dampen them. I just quietened down all of the sounds that were in the proximity of close to the camera, which is obvious through decibels and frequencies, you can tell. But anything I was unsure of that sounded like it could have been over the top of something, a noise that he made, I left in there so that you could get a pattern and pick up on, you know, whole lots of audio sounds. So what I started doing is taking his voice out first. It was a couple of minutes of commentary, so I delete the audio and then cut and paste it together again from the points where the talking was taken out. And I've cut the audio down from a 5-minute audio to a 1:07 piece of audio, and it's most of his footsteps are out. There's a little bit of him talking just to give people a reference as to what was going on, in case they don't have the original video.
Did you say you could define left and right too?
Yeah, the thing was that proximity with sounds were really different, because you could hear all of the close stuff had a lot of high EQ. All the top end frequencies were really clear at things that are really close, and everything that was really distant didn't have any top end at all, because that's how a microphone picks things up.
Yep.
And so I could easily determine what was in those different frequency ranges. Made it really easy to separate. Plus, as a visual, when you put the music up on screen, as you'll see right here, if you can at all see that, you can see that the left side, which is the top,
yep,
is louder than the bottom. A bigger picture, so it's a louder frequency.
So how many different sources, what directions were these different sounds were from?
You can hear clearly that there's 3 different directions the sounds are coming from.
So you're saying there's 3 different things out at the same time, or one thing's moving different? What are you saying?
It could be, but the sound is not travelling from left to right. There's sounds both on the left and the right and in front, but the sounds are not travelling across to each side, so you can't, unless they're jumping.
Yep.
Which
so you believe there's 3 different things, whatever these things are,
yeah,
at the same time?
The gentleman said that in his video, and I believe he was correct. There's definitely 3 noises around the outside, 3 different sound sources. Okay, looking at a rock that was thrown from the video, and we're seeing quite an obvious pattern here that extends to what I could work out 6 bounces. I'll just get it to stretch out a bit for you. Actually,
so you believe it like a boulder coming down the hill? Yeah,
well, it's I've had some people talk to me about the boulder bouncing 6 times. If it was thrown on a descent, it would bounce 6 times
Right, do
easily.
you want to play it and just point it out to what you're looking at?
Yeah. You'll see the big highlighted yellow marks. That's the actual rock hitting the ground, and the camera picking it up. And that was one of 3 rocks that was thrown supposedly at him. This is by far the biggest one, and it landed very close, as you'll hear in 1 second. Right.
Nice.
I don't know if that picked it up, but I can hear 6 bounces there with that rock, and that tells you something about the actual event. You can also pick up that he had the camera on his right side and his torch in his left. By the sound of his voice that I deleted was louder on one side than the other, so I could tell where he was positioning the cameras.
So did you hear any, besides rocks and some sort of footsteps, what else did you hear?
A whacking of the bush. There's a tree break as well that you hear, which I'll put it to the tree break and show you the break. It's quite an impressive sound. It was very distant in the original. I'm not sure if this is it. Yep, that was it. I'll repeat it so you can hear it. All the other noise that you're hearing in it is me boosting the gain. Those frequencies I could get in and pull out, but there's no need to. We all know it's a stick breaking in the bush, so. And if I wanted to, I could cut the breathing out. And then bring up a frequency graph, find what frequencies his breath are, and try and minimise those frequencies.
But we don't want to kill you. How many hours did you say?
Exactly. See, I'm just showing. The gentleman on the camera says quiet, you can hear them when he hears them moving around him, and he stops talking. So it was a great point of the video to actually boost and unedit. I didn't have to edit anything in this. I just had to boost again so that you could hear it clearer than he's talking, louder than he's talking. I left all the camera noise in, but what I found is, I don't know if the camera can pick up that right there and there. You'll see that there's 2 lines close to each other. That sound is also there and there. There's another one there and there, and another one there and there, and they're up the front as well, but they're not 2 together like that. To give you an idea of the separation between that sound there in time, it's 128 milliseconds, so it's 0.12 of a second. To me, and when you hear it, you'll hear that it's footsteps, and so why is there 2 lines instead of just 1 thump? Why is there 2 noises 0.1 of a second apart with each step?
Right, you want to show us?
And when you play it, you can hear that.
Can you bring it up a fraction in size?
Yeah, sure. You can hear also that there's more than one creature making the sound, because you hear the sounds of that funny gate overlapping each other. It's particularly at the beginning of the recording here, of the part. I'm not sure where it starts, but I think it's around here. I'll start it from there. Right.